Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing an unboxing and first look of the Funky Flicker Boys Gen 1 Moon Wrestling Shoes. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here. Today I'm doing an unboxing and first look of the Funky Flicker Boys Gen 1 Moon Wrestling Shoes. These retail for $119.99 on their website. I got mine in the Moon colorway, which is all white in size 11. You can get this as small as size 7 all the way to size 13. Unfortunately, they do not currently have this model in half sizes. This is the first time I've actually purchased a product from Funky Flicker Boys, and they're a company that specializes in making wrestling gear. So let me go ahead and start opening this package so we can take a look at it. And for those of you that are wondering, well, why did I end up getting wrestling shoes? And I'm sure you've seen this before on my channel, but oftentimes you can interchange and use wrestling shoes for boxing just because of there's a lot of similarities between wrestling and boxing shoes in terms of design. So oftentimes you'll see boxers use wrestling shoes for both their training as well as for their fights because of the similarities, both being lightweight, having a thinner sole, so it's easier to have that footwork and mobility be used during your training as well as your fight, lateral movement, and you feel more grounded when you're wearing wrestling or boxing shoes because generally speaking, the sole on the shoes are usually thinner, so you just feel more planted to the surface that you're standing on. So there's a lot of similarities when it comes to that. And again, you oftentimes see kind of the crossing between the two disciplines or the two sports when it comes to wrestling and boxing shoes. So you'll notice that it comes in this lime green colorway. It does say NIDROGEN, I think that's how you pronounce that, NIDROGEN.com. So you have that. And this is the Gen 1 Moon, which is all white with black. There's a label in size 11. One thing I also wanted to mention is there's currently 5 total colorways. So you have Moon, which is white. You can get it in blue, red, black, and a kind of like a lime green, like basically the same color as this box. Each colorway is called a different model. They're all essentially the same shoe, but the colorway changes the name of it. Like I think the lime one is called Shock or something like that. I forgot the name of it, but this one is called Moon, and for obvious reasons because it's white. So let's go ahead and open the box. The other reason I got this shoe is because they look awesome. From when I first saw them on their social media on Instagram, I like automatically like gravitated to the way they looked, and I clicked on the link and I was like, man, those shoes look awesome. They did a pre-sale and they had like a countdown on their website to show when the shoes were available, and it was like a week out. So I just had the website open on my phone, and I would just basically keep track of when the shoes were released, and when they finally were released to the public, that's when I was able to purchase them. So that's kind of the backstory behind that. So here is the box. Looks like they include black laces, standard black laces. These are like the oval laces with the plastic tips, so you do have laces there. And here is the wrapping paper. It looks like this is the right shoe. And here is the right shoe. I mean, come on now. You can't tell me that those don't look super clean. It's just a very clean, aesthetic looking shoe. It's a mid-top, and that looks super, super clean. All white, and you have a little bit of black, obviously, for contrast. Right there with that lightning bolt. You also have the black on the back. And it says NIDROGEN again. So I'm assuming NIDROGEN, or is it NIDROGEN or NIDROGEN? If you guys know what that is, I think it's a NIDROGEN or NIDROGEN, but correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe that is the actual parent company, and maybe they sell through Funky Flicker Boys. I don't know, a little confusing in that regard, but. So that is the right shoe. Let me go ahead and get the left shoe out. And there you have it. So put the box to the side. And there is nothing else in the box. Oh, I do want to show you this. So the inside of the box says, welcome to the NIDROGEN family. We hope you enjoy our shoes and gear as much as we have enjoyed creating them for you. We love to hear. So one thing that I've noticed with Funky Flicker Boys and just kind of their culture, the theme, is they're kind of a funky, kind of quirky company. At least that's what I gather from it. And you can see they kind of intentionally misspell words. And that's, again, kind of goes with the theme of just being kind of eclectic. So that's kind of cool. I like that. I dig that. We love to, so you see they didn't put a space between the two, the T and the E. Here, her, from our customers, please tag us in any photos of you and your shoes. So I like that. That's kind of cool. Different, right? Not the same. Okay. All right. So we have the left and the right shoe, and they look awesome. One thing about this shoe is that I'm hoping that the toe box, so because it didn't come in half sizes, I get it in size 11, which is not a problem for me because I always get size 11 when it comes to boxing shoes just in general, unless the company, specifically tells me, hey, the shoes are too big, you might want to go half size down. The problem is when you don't have half sizes, if somebody is size 10 and they have white feet, they usually will probably go half size up to 10 and a half. And the fact that these don't have half sizes, that kind of creates an issue. So there's that, but I got these in size 11. Thankfully, for me, when it comes to wrestling shoes, I go half size up. But that's my main concern when it comes to these type of shoes, is just this toe box area. This is usually where it's super narrow for me, and that's where I get the most discomfort in my right foot more than my left, because my right foot's slightly bigger than my left, and I think that goes for a lot of people that have, I don't know if it's considered a normality or an abnormality, but your feet being a little bit larger than the other foot. So you have that. The outside upper material is a nubuck suede material. That's something I couldn't tell from the photos on their social media, but it is a nubuck suede. So it is a suede type material. The lightning bolts on the side are kind of like a patent plastic material that is stitched on with the lightning bolts in black outline. You do have also a plastic patent kind of bubble embossed on the back of the heel, and also says NIDROGEN on the back of the heel cup. There is a good amount of firmness on that back heel cup as well. The tongue on here is made of a synthetic mesh. So you have that synthetic mesh tongue, and you also have more of that same nubuck material for the lace holder right here in the middle with a lightning bolt in black. The laces on here, you can go ahead and pull them out. These are in white. Again, they give you the option for black, so if you wanted to lace with black. Pretty normal in terms of length. I can imagine once I have them all laced up, I might be able to get a revolution around my ankle. If I want extra support, I might not. There is a shoehorn on the inside. Let me go pull that out. So I've got the shoehorn out, and the tongue on the inside says NIDROGEN US size 11, just made in China, nothing too crazy there. It doesn't have a list of materials. Some brands, some companies will actually put what the material on the shoe is made of, like 50% polyester or whatever. They'll usually list it, but again, the upper is a nubuck. You do have a black insole that is removable, which is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. So you do have a fully removable insole, black, and the other side is kind of like an aqua blue color. Nothing too crazy here. It has, pretty decent amount of padding on here, maybe about 1/4 inch of padding, and a little bit thicker, maybe a 1/2 inch on the heel. So I do like the fact that they do give you a removable insole, because oftentimes they'll glue it in, and if you try taking it out and replacing it with your own orthotics, you end up ripping it out, and there's all this glue and excess of the old insole still stuck to the glue on the inside of the shoe, and it's just a complete mess. So you have that, and then you can see where the outsole is stitched to the bottom, like all shoes. You have that. So let me go ahead and put this insole back in. But the whole thought process behind these shoes, whether you're using it for wrestling, which is the original design of the shoes, or for boxing, is so that you feel very grounded and connected to the floor, right? You really want your feet to be as close as possible. And in wrestling, I've never wrestled before, so I'm not going to sit here and talk like I know what I'm talking about. But my assumption is when wrestling, you're taking a lot of sharp angles with wrestling, so you need a lot of grip, and you need especially when your feet is in different angles and positions while you're on the mat. So that's really a big focal point of wrestling shoes, and you know, could be said for boxing shoes. I think the biggest difference between wrestling and boxing shoes when it comes to the outsole is oftentimes wrestling shoes sometimes have kind of a rounded outsole, and that's because, again, when you're wrestling, you're on the mat, you're going to be on the mat laying down, or you're on your knees and you're kind of using a lot of leverage. So that rounded sole really helps out because you have more grip. Where in boxing, you really don't need that. I mean, you still need grip, but you just don't need all that excess rounded out. And that can also attribute to you possibly rolling your ankle in boxing. With this one, it does have a little bit more of a flat feel to it. It doesn't have quite as rounded like as some Asics wrestling shoes have, more of a rounded outsole. So this has kind of, I'd say right there in the middle, a little roundness to it, but looks pretty flat overall. So just from looking at it, this looks like it could be pretty functional in terms of boxing in regards to the actual outsole itself. Now, the outsole on here is rubber, and it's both on the ball of the foot, the front portion, and you also have it on the heel. And they're basically these little rubber bumps that kind of are raised up. And you'll also notice that it also has these 5 ovals, almost like it's simulating your toes towards the front of the toe box of the shoe, which is kind of cool as well. And you have that, and that, I'm assuming they added that to give yourself a little bit more grip, especially for pivoting, or if you're making any type of movement on the ball of your foot, that you get a little bit more leverage right there on that front portion. So that's pretty cool. Lace holes on here are standard, just kind of punched through. I can't comment on it yet, obviously, because I haven't put the shoes on, but I typically prefer, when it comes to boxing shoes, instead of lace holes where they just have the actual nylon lace loops, if you want to call them, because that way when you lace your shoes up, it's a lot quicker. You don't have to go and individually pull each one. Oftentimes with that, they run a lot smoother, and it doesn't get snagged in between inside the holes. So, but not a huge deal, just something I noticed. But yeah, overall, a beautiful looking shoe. Again, a mid top. These aren't high or lows. I think they're the perfect height. And the toe has a good amount of flexibility. Again, heel cup feels nice and stiff. So excited to try these out. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments down below, what you think about the styling. I'm gonna start using this in my training, see how they feel and they perform, and eventually do a review. So again, if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do. Put them down below. Share your thoughts with me on what you think about these shoes. I'll put the link in the description box on where you can find them, and I will see you guys later. Peace.